Hello, welcome to today. Atimate kotsiatia ipatatuka. I'm Hillary Porter, full spectrum healer and Tamiana Starseed Oracle. Tibatito da tiaki utsnight, taba utsdai, tikibezi utsnine, taba si utsdaushtiki. Anyways, so today is a blue super full moon. And that is in the sign of Pisces. And I figured, why not? Let's do another transmission video. I'd done one a couple weeks ago for the new moon. So you can always go over and watch that guy. Talk a little bit about what the transmissions are as well, and who it is that I'm transmitting with, as well as myself, and what that looks like in sessions as well. So I think I'm going to get to go, but I want to just kind of dive in today. So what's going to be happening is I'm going to be typing as stuff comes through, and then I will share the English that was typed as well. And I'll also post it below wherever you're seeing this video. And so this before we dive into that, this full supermoon in Pisces, so this is two full moons then for the month of August, has been a pretty, it's been like molting. When we think of molting, so we talk about like shedding the skin and coming out of our cocoon, but then there's the molting. So it's not that we've completely transformed inside. It's like that snake hasn't completely transformed. It's still been that snake. It's not like the butterfly and the caterpillar where the caterpillar completely dissolves. And then the butterfly emerges and you're like, what? It's magic. Still magic, but a little bit differently. It's a shedding of a layer that is too small for us now. Feels tight. It feels restricting. It feels like it's impeding our growth. And we're growing regardless. We're growing through and up and out and over and beyond as we're on this like spiritual soul journey. So molting is shedding that layer, and we're still us, but the enhanced, the advanced, the next vibrational level, another step aligned, even more clearly aligned with our heart. Metamorphosis just sounds a lot nicer than molting. Right? Chrysalis sounds a lot better than shed skin. And I am no stranger to the stuff that's happening right now. I'm also in a big stage of molting and shifting and changing, and how I show up in my practice and what I offer. A couple of things this morning that came in. So as I was in that liminal space between the astral travel dream space and to get awake, like fully awake, it was very clear. So I work a lot with Mother Mary Magdalene, which is a combo frequency of Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. Come together to create this divine light frequency. And it was this image of the full moon, and they are standing one on either side. Mary Magdalene, quite actually a bit bigger and more reflective of the energy of Kuan Yin than Mother Mary. And this moon is a portal. They were showing this moon and they were holding one on either side, kind of like the never-ending story where Atreyu goes through the sphinxes and there's one on either side. But Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene were not shooting lasers out of their eyes. So they're holding this portal right now. To step through when this portal is that you feel yourself on a transition right now. You feel yourself in this transformational space. You feel yourself stepping over the threshold. into more alignment, more reflective of your heart field frequency. You were bathed as you step through this portal, as they hold this portal. You were bathed in that light, in that heart frequency. Plus the divine frequency that comes from the Christ consciousness that is being imparted through the Sacred Heart now. Through the frequencies of Mother Mary Magdalene. Another thing that I saw this morning, and I highly recommend you follow these guys. You get their stuff. They're amazing. This is not a plug. This is not an advertisement. I guess it's a plug. It's not an advertisement. I'm not getting paid for this. I just love these guys. It's called the Magic of I. Patito de the letter I. And they send out, so they have these beautiful journals, these beautiful Patito de Saya day timers, beautiful with the different stuff that's happening astrologically and the moon and all this. They're gorgeous. And they send out emails around the Patito de Basikitika, the moons, right? And something that was in this week's, one of them, so you can go and read their blog as well. And so they have it posted very, very dead on for the horoscopes for right now, for this moon. Patito de Sikatagaya for both myself and Derek, my partner. I see like beyond dead on. Like you go to there was a phrase in there, there was a speaking to in there of, well, to often talk about do you believe? Do you believe in spirituality? Do you believe in God? Do you believe in the other realms? But what about that shift? Because that's all mental sphere, right? To surrender is heart sphere. About belief is like, do I believe? Why would I believe? And like it enters that realm. What if the dialogue was changed from do you believe to do you experience spirit? Do you experience God? Do you experience other realms? Do you experience consciousness? Do you believe in consciousness? Is different than do you experience consciousness? So when we say, yeah, I believe in spirituality, but are you practicing? Are you experiencing it? Different. So I really love that. I just kind of wanted to bring that into your field. To contemplate, or contemplate, as we say. I'd love to know how you're feeling this full moon. I'm just going to get my computer set up here so that I can actually, I now move this to the side so it'll look like I'm staring at the side of my computer. And really, I'm not. I'm watching you, but I guess I'm watching me to watch you. But how is this moon? How has this been? So often we talk about resting or, going out and having a lot of fun and play and stuff during the summer months. But so many, this, especially August, was full, like so full of doing and things that weren't necessarily able to be put to the side. And now we're coming into September. So, okay. You ready? So I invite you. Here, what did I do? Moving you over. There we go. It's not so weird now. I have my typing sheet up here in front of me. So I invite you to do a couple of things. I invite you to put this on in the background and listen to it as the frequencies come. While you're doing something, if you don't have the moment to stop now and pause and sink in, I encourage you to take the moment of intention, right? I used to refrain from telling people, like, pause in what you're doing. It's like, no, you can incorporate this with what you're doing. And there's too much of that. We're too much multitasking. Yes, the frequencies still get in, but it is a different ball game when you take that intention to stop and allow it and be consciously present. Even if you start traveling, astral traveling, you're still consciously present, consciously up here, right? You might not be necessarily here. Like my favorite is when beings will say, they just come off the table or just out of a gathering, and they're just like, so I wasn't sleeping, but I wasn't necessarily here. And I'm just like, yes, it's truth. But your consciousness, you were conscious of your consciousness. So I encourage you to close your eyes. If closing your eyes feels unsafe for you, gaze softly at the space in front of you, and let the frequencies bathe over you. There's going to be some light code. And then at the end of the light code, I will read the English through that comes. Okay? So, I call in Mother Mary, for this super blue super full moon. With messaging for the collective. And there may be times where I'm just typing and there is no light language. And it's just transmission. Patagova sikatabo baya, Vaikitika boa baya, Tikotobo boba, Tikotogo. Biocotina namasikatiko baya, Ayatstaya baya, Bahia. Gabatiko go makaya. Toko kaya ki ko aya kaya. Patito do muma kasikitagaya boba, Pikiti to the chiki. Baya, Tita bakaya. You are take a bow, but in the patikitika. Bau bu what's kitty diana Gubutu staya basi stobakia. Abati do bu asiki baya ki aya ba asaki baya siduduka bu taya ti. Bokura tika dumana takata paskata kara tikiti and baya ipa upa pra atsika ayas. Bush to do the wasiki wa mositae, I wanted to do by a boo, but to bo to ba, basikatika do bo by ha. Baya, basikatika batikataka, Yaba but to get the gora to kataka, basikiti, bakasikitaka. Who sit to the bio, was it the bite to go take a ticket, or sit to Kaya to the batika de bobo, Katita, Bushta, Tikiti Baba, ticket ba. Giant yet good die. I am but to go buy Kia, higher, got to go bow, buy it, die. Buy die. But oh, it's the day, is it go? Kio, aya. Woof, I sit at a basikitiko to katakataka, tikataka, bakasikitako, a bakasikitako, bahaya, bakasikitako, a die. Somebody into the tire. Baku kasikataka. Visi to do the baba so go to buy but the babu got it at the buyer, so kitty go. Pogo got the bassa but the baba minguru the command who could go to katakara, the katakaya. But the read the car, ticket to go, who was about Sapasatika to go. Puts it to the massacring among the massacre tickets the buyer. And give do buyer, my goose ember tu why tikatagaya o batikadia. Gura tikata batin boo. Imanegitiko to bataka pound, batikitika shmatakana, matikitika, taka. Aya to taya, bo, abasita, bo, tikitika, baya, bo, kasikitia, batikitia, bo. Ooh. Ahamaya, otitaya, kotaya, ubutaya, ki, otaya, tutodota, bagogaya, tutodobu, britipitigara, tikatikaya, patikitiko, basikitikaya, haya, puara, sia, titaya, aya, netkur, tukora, tatibesikitzaba, huna, haya, sataya, haya, si, do, bye. Baratitaya, piety, ki paia patiata topa, rambatikite kotoko poa, paio kura, patito kotakaya. Pakisito tata patikito ko kaya, kio kasaya, pa ugu, paia, io sto vaia, io po. Pasito toda basiti basito toda basit stai pa o ko da bati kituku, nimti kituku biti tuku. Piudra ticket basit the go gati kitakaya, but the good the batikaya, but utunanishtakaya, bakukaya, tea. Batu do the tibati good to go by, batikitiko boka titaya, basi. Kukatiko to kura tikura tikita ba oa basika to boro tikitib. Mayo to toba asita ich to oma ako kositataya, batikura tikatakaya. Kartuko warabat namako rosa, batikiti muru. Imagine it's name. Baya to taya, go baratsi tata baya. Ba, dinudunung baya, digungin baha ka berada ketikada kare, ketikin dukun tetemana tikita. Gitu tuh kak pasti ya bar numaya, numane baru tikata kaya kecikituku. Parat stato da staya kina ubaya kasito ko basi kata ba ut sepatata cepatakura cikatakai. Baya tutuku ka aya na sita tabaya. Oh, kaya na aya masih gati tudo baya kukasina aya buna na te basi yo dona masiki manu no mandini mini kutsi kita ka baya kora te kita ya baya kora mbati kito Bas, hai basi to bosaka siko to ka basi, tata baka siko to ko baya, bakasi to koa, baya basu to tabaya, bakasika kama. Giyotaya daya masito tabaya si, baya baya. Focus daya daya daya. Ibati do 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 bo baya. But to do that, but to do chai chai chiki, but to do what's night na mahush dayaki. Namai, my tama. Focusy, my or to the masik to no mahush dayaki. Okay. You're welcome back, but you can stay in your state. Not even let's keep your boats diet by presence with the sound. I'm going to go through what was being typed at the same time. Let's make a little correction here first. This is the time of the becoming, of the reckoning. What are you reckoning? What are you leaving behind? What are you calling in? This is the mold, the great mold. This is the moment of peeling back the skin and seeing what's underneath. But it's not just one layer, it is many. And the full moon is here to illuminate under each and every space, every shaving, every fragment. So the visual is not like one smooth mold where it's like we just have one layer pulled back. It'd literally be like if you sliced an onion, just the edge, and you peel back and you get the multi-layers. It's like that right now. Yes, it's about letting go, but it's also about receiving. What do you hold at arm's length? What do you smile sheepishly at, nod, and say thank you without acceptance, without allowing your worth of the receipt? You know, when somebody offers you something and you're like, no, I'm fine, it's okay. And they're like, no, take it. And you're like, okay, thanks. But you're kind of like this because you're not like, thank you, awesome, I will take that, right? I will accept, receive your offering. Now is the time to think about the thing that lays within your hands that you fail to grasp. It floats there waiting to be recognized, held, and brought into the heart. It is the thing that makes you feel poignant, sharp, clear, and loved. All it takes is to love it in return. It's like seeing the forest through the trees, right? It's right in front of you. You're holding it, but like pretending that it doesn't exist. You know, it's like my cat when I put the camera up to her and she's like, nope, it doesn't exist. Open your heart, expand it. With each exhalation, soften into this expansive state. Feel the feels that come in. See the dark spots that linger. See the dark spots that make you want to contract and breathe in some more. Through the softening of the spaces, this darkness is able to interact, to be interacted with in a way that holds power in the shift and the change and the integration. When we integrate, we regulate. When we regulate, we expand. The current is flow, the flow is growth, the growth is expansion, the expansion is consciousness. To be conscious is to be present and accepting and initiatory of the phases that lead to growth of the heart. So let's decode that a little bit. So through the softening of the spaces, the darkness is able to be interacted with in a way that holds power in the shift and the change and the integration. It's not all love and light. There's love and light, yes, but it's not all love and light. There's the darkness pieces, and we don't banish them, because when we banish them, we're not looking at them and integrating them and transmuting them. So through the softening of the spaces, when we find those dark pockets as we're softening and expanding, we We allow ourselves to interact with them because they're not walled off. It's not like, no, I don't see you. We're actually like, oh, hey, it's like having that intense conversation with someone, and you wall yourself off, you shut yourself off. You're like, no, peace out, I'm done. But then every time you have that conversation, it goes right to that place versus, okay, I'm going to soften into this. I'm just going to be present, and then things can flow, right? It's back and forth. And that's when we can shift and integrate. So when we integrate, we regulate. So when we don't integrate, we're not regulating our system. Because we can't, because we have these like things that aren't integrated. They often show up as orbs when I'm working with people in different pockets and parts of the body, pockets of energy that have encapsulated out of protection, and often rightly so, right? Like that's always the person did it in the moment to protect themselves. But sometimes it's something they're holding on to because they're like, but this is mine, but it's not actually them or theirs. It's something that they've come to think is themselves from whatever reason. Often it's indoctrination, or there could be abuse, and so it's what was told and it's what is believed when it's not actually truth for them. And when we're able to dissolve, not crack open, because we have to be able to integrate. Integrate takes this solution so that you can integrate and process these frequencies that are in there slowly, right? When we integrate, we regulate. Then we're able to regulate the system because it's not getting stuck on these blockages. When we regulate, we expand because we're like, oh, I've got this free flow. I now have the energy that I was using to try to get around things and the blockages. I now have this free flow. So I can actually use that energy to expand. The current is flow. The flow is growth. The current is flow. The flow is growth. The growth is expansion. Expansion is consciousness. To be conscious is to be present and accepting. So it doesn't mean that we're accepting necessarily like this darkness. Okay, this darkness piece, I accept this is the way it is for the rest of my life. That's not what this means. It just means, oh, I see you. I accept you for how you're presenting yourself, right? Because you're present to it. And you're able to go, oh, got it. I'm not pushing you off to the side. I'm not believing you're not real. Like you're actually there. You're actually impacting my world. Okay, here we go. And the initiatory phases. Then you're able to take action and not be stuck basing your actions on these blockages because they're integrating. They're not veering you off course from your heart-aligned frequency, purpose, original source code, right? Growth of the heart. To be conscious is to be present and accepting and initiatory of the phases. So you're starting the phases yourself. You're not just sitting back and being like, okay, it'll just happen, right? Phases that lead to growth of the heart. Grow your heart. Grow it green, grow it fragrant, full of all the beauty that you see and feel. Feel it peppered with the moments that feel like strain, like a pulse that falters. Invite these in to be part of the scenery and allow them to feel the brilliance of the light and the love and the frequency of being complete. We just talked about what that means. Because all is needed to create a whole. Some frequencies need to be raised to be in resonance through the pain and the shedding and the growth. So even though there's these darkness pieces, we're calling them darkness pieces, the blockages, right? The frequency doesn't have to stay super dense and holding back and holding down and not in resonance. And that's where that integration comes in, right? It's like when you have that aha moment where, let's say you've had a crazy big breakup and it impacts you, and all of a sudden one day you wake up and you're like, oh, that's not impacting me the same way. You're able to see it differently, to integrate it because it's resonating differently through and with you, right? Some frequencies need to be raised to be in resonance through the pain and the shedding and the growth. This full moon is about illumination of the spaces that hold the pain, the suffering, the restrictions of life that you no longer have to live by. Your expectations of you are not those that need to live forever. Your expectations of you are not those that need to live forever. How do you want these to change? How do you want to see yourself? How do you want to feel? Where is your growth stunted? How is it holding you back from shedding into the next stage of new vulnerability and light? Vulnerability does not mean weakness. Vulnerability means the heart is wide open, ready for all and none. It just means being there. Vulnerability means the heart is willing to be present now to each and every moment that comes, to breathe through and into it, to accept, welcome, and experience, to leave some behind and bring some forth. We don't always have to carry every single piece with us every step of the way. There's a time for some things to no longer be within us or with us. Ask the moon, what have you illuminated for me? What part do you wish me to see through the lens of the sea, S-E-A? What rides upon her waves, waiting for me to welcome it to shore? That's that flow. There's something on that flow, on that current, waiting for you to welcome it. Be like, no, you can come to shore. Come on, I see you. I feel you. Come on. Oh, moving again. So that's the full moon transmission for the blue super full moon in Pisces. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you'd like frequencies for yourself, sessions are available. You can reach out. All my links are wherever you're watching this. There's links below or in the profile, or there's links, and I'll make sure to include the link down below as well. Okay, so much love and stardust, and you got this. Allow yourself the space. This is my little pep talk. Allow yourself the space to feel the feels. You need to invest in tissue and just use boxes of it. Do it. Allow yourself those moments of solitude. Allow yourself those moments to be held. Pause and ask yourself, be like, what do I need right now? If you're like, oh, I need a hug, but you're refraining from asking for that, why? Pause and go, I am deserving of that, and then ask for it. And allow yourself the moments of silence and solitude, and then do what your being is asking for as support. Okay. And as always, you can lean into spirit. She's always there for you. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.